Before we conclude this session, allow me to make some last remarks. With regard to the chairmanship of this standing committee of the regional committee, let me remind you that in accordance with the rule 14.2.4 of the rules of procedures on the regional committee, the deputy executive president of this session will be ex officio chairperson at the 31st Standing Committee. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Thomas Denzer with taking up this role, and we 22nd, okay, 32nd. It's a mistake here, okay. Taking up this role, and wish him the best of luck in this function. Thank you all participants for traveling to Copenhagen and have meaningful in-person interaction. Thank you for the honor to have acted as RC74 president. So, goodbye. Wish participants safe return home and successful SCRC, which will follow next minutes. Gabriel, excuse me. Gabriel, some technical messages as always. What it's important from Gabriel, not from us. So, thank you. Thank you, Gabriel. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Minister Rafila. And thank you to all the colleagues who've been with us for the past 3 days, for your guidance, for your encouragement and your support. Indeed, I would like to remind SCRC 32 members that the first meeting is scheduled to take place at 6 p.m. this evening in the Atlantic Lounge. Zoom links are also available for SCRC members who were unable to attend in person. An RC74 evaluation survey will be sent out to you very shortly. Please do share your views, your comments and your feedback with us in terms of design for next year. And also to note that an intention survey on serving on WHO bodies and committees will also be sent out in November. So that would be a little earlier than this year, which will hopefully will give delegations more time to consider. And thank you very much, dear Chair. If I may pass the floor back to you for RD's closing remarks, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel. And now I want to give the floor to our regional director for his closing remarks. And then we'll finish this session. Thank you.
Honourable Ministers, distinguished delegates, colleagues and friends. All regional committees are special. They bring us together year after year from across Europe and Central Asia, a meeting of minds and hearts focused on a single goal. But may I ask you, our 53 member states, to indulge me for a moment if I say that for me personally, the 74th Regional Committee for Europe has been especially memorable. Indeed, it has been unforgettable and quite emotionally. As I voiced yesterday, being nominated for a second term as Regional Director and continuing to hold the reins of leadership of WHO Europe is an immense privilege. I am grateful, honoured and deeply humbled to have the opportunity to keep working with all of you, governments, civil society partners, donors and funders, and not least my own colleagues in the regional office and across our country offices region-wide. Thank you once again for placing your trust in me and in all of us at WHO Europe. I am ready, with your support, to lead the transformation of the pan-European region with all the levers and resources I have at my disposal. The second European Programme of Work 2025-2030, the EPW2, which we will develop in close consultation with you, our member states and all partners, will be ambitious and bold. But in these times of perma-crisis, it can be nothing less. What we have achieved these past 3 days points to the urgency with which we must step up the pace. We have your green light to move forward on Preparedness 2.0, our new regional strategy and action plan for health emergencies to help ensure Europe and Central Asia can better weather the crisis to come. Complementing this, the practical, life-saving role of emergency medical teams, an essential pillar of health emergency response, a crown jewel to be burnished all the brighter through a new regional action plan. The framework for resilient and sustainable health systems that you have endorsed will strengthen primary healthcare, ensure we are looking after our precious healthcare workers better, make the best use of digital tools and AI in healthcare, and develop the financing models needed to deliver quality care to everyone, everywhere. We have launched the first ever engagement plan between any WHO office and non-state actors, something I am very proud of. This recognizes just how key civil society and other non-governmental partners are to expanding coalitions on health, to building an all-of-society approach to health policy and implementation, and leave no one behind through social participation. More broadly, I'm so pleased that mental health will continue to be prioritized, building on the accomplishments under EPW1 and mental health throughout the life course. Indeed, our commitment was reinvigorated on Tuesday with the amazing performance by the House of SWAC, who reminded us that the trauma of COVID-19 still lingers long, compounded by layers of other mental health challenges, and that human connection is so important to the healing process. In their own words, quote, "Let's lift each other up and break through the pain. If I can, then so can you," unquote. On climate, we've committed to even more action on its devastating health impacts by, number one, launching our regional adaptation guide on One Health for the WHO European region. And two, the imminent establishment of the Panel on Climate Change and Health, to be chaired by the charismatic former Icelandic Prime Minister Katríne Jakobsdóttir, who is also the chair of the Council of World Women Leaders. As you can see, we have our work cut out for us. An ambitious yet achievable list, beginning with our joint commitment and goodwill. But as many of you member states noted, we need the resources to do our work. At a time of increasing economic and political turmoil, WHO's long-term funding scenario is uncertain more than ever. I echo Dr. Tedros' thanks to all those who have stepped up so far and supported in particularly the recent signature event of WHO's investment round in Berlin. And thanks again to the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and the Minister of Health of Germany, Professor Karl Lauterbach, together with Norway and France, who were the co-hosts. Once again, let me underscore that investing in health is not a luxury. It's an imperative, economic, social, and human. For our part, we at WHO Europe have demonstrated that our own house is in order in terms of structure and governance, budgeting and future planning, matching ambition to ground realities. Trust and transparency underpin our business case, as does our accountability to you, our member states, and the nearly 1 billion people we serve region-wide. In that vein, dear colleagues, I want to warmly thank the Regional Committee's President, Professor Alexandru Rafila of Romania, and all the RC74 officers. and incoming members of our SCRC, the Standing Committee of the Region Committee, we are very lucky to have your collective stewardship of governance processes that strengthen WHO Europe all the more. My deep gratitude again to my big brother for his continuing guidance and wisdom and having prioritized and spent a lot of time with us here. As he said yesterday, he's counting on all of us to work all the harder to embed the transformative initiatives WHO has set in motion during his tenure. Finally, again, an enormous thank you to all my incredible colleagues who have been involved in organizing RC74. It's a monumental effort, months in the making, with every single part of the organization playing a key role. Thank you for your commitment, your stamina, and your good humor. I have always been and will always remain very proud to work alongside you. By now, you all know my love of a good quote at the end of every address. And by the way, I see that my voice is improving. So it's a pity that we're finishing, actually. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard left us with wisdom that I believe perfectly captures this week in Copenhagen. Quote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." Unquote. We have learned so much from the past, and while we may not know exactly what the future will bring, we must enjoy the privilege of life and health today, as we plan and prepare the best we can for tomorrow. Side by side in the spirit of solidarity, collaboration and our shared goal of health for all. Ladies and gentlemen, to be renominated for the second time now as the Regional Director of the Pan-European region with unanimity is no doubt the greatest honor of my life. There is an old Dutch saying, "Trust arrives on a turtle, but leaves on a horse." I assure you, I will do everything possible to be worth this unprecedented pan-European trust. I thank you and I wish you safe travels home. Thank you.